And this is my new ASUS ROG Rapture GT-AX11000 Tri-Band High Performance Beast. So I've actually chosen to go with green for the LED color there. There's other modes. I might set it on red, green, blue color cycle there. Of course, you could turn that off or do whatever you like. And yeah, so this thing is a powerful beast. This has recently replaced my my big tri-band Linksys EA 9500, which was a AC 5400 Wi-Fi router. I just couldn't turn this down, right? The idea of having a much better processor and more RAM, and then to really try ASUS, try them out. I'd been tempted to buy the previous generation of this ROG Rapture. It was a GT series, the AC 5300. But I figured I'd try out a new AX router. Hopefully they do a firmware update and support WPA3. But I thought, you know, a gig of RAM, AI mesh capable. I was getting kind of tired of that Linksys anyway. And so there were some things I wanted to try about this router. And it was only $450. You know, the consumer market Wi-Fi router pricing is still frozen at $500, which has been that way for 2 years now. In 2016, it raised up to $400. In 2015, I think it was $300. But ever since 2013, Wi-Fi router prices have been raising. The days of getting a $50 Wi-Fi router to take care of all your needs are gone. That dream died years ago. With everybody doing Netflix as their entertainment, or Hulu, or YouTube, or whatever, and several people in the household, and they all can't decide on what they want to watch. Everybody being picky about what they watch, so they all go to their rooms and watch different things at the same time, and people doing Wi-Fi security cameras and doing a bunch of stuff now. Yeah, $150 is El Cheapo for a Wi-Fi router these days to actually handle what you need. As a matter of fact, it's coming down to the point where $200 is becoming like the bottom price that you have to pay to actually get the performance you expect. I think about $300, about $350 average is still what the average. You have to spend about an average of $350 to get something that's going to be adequate for the average household's needs these days. And you got to take this stuff seriously. I mean, you just do. I mean, it's not just signal strength like how it used to be a long time ago. Your information is like 15 years old and you need to update it. And it's not just like, well, I'm going to go to the store and just pick this item up. It's not like a table lamp or something. It is with your expectations, the way your expectations are. You have to take this seriously. You have to either do some research or talk to somebody who knows what they're talking about, who knows this kind of stuff. Because there are a bunch of different models of Wi-Fi routers, even within the same brand. I mean, there are, and that's just because everybody's household can vary on what it needs. Like, how big the house is, what the shape of it is. Like this Wi-Fi router here is beast. I mean, you know, like for even decently large size homes, you got some signal strength to cover the home, but the floor plan, the layout, this router here would just, it's not going to be really good suited in a long rectangular home. It's just, you need more than just one router, and Wi-Fi range extenders are a joke anyway. I mean, people want to believe that it only takes $40 to fix their problem, and it's really just a Band-Aid. So I got this router here, this ASUS, and for my house, it's fine. I got it upstairs, or you can say it's in computing paradise. But anyway, it's, I mean, it's pretty adequate, right? You know, nearly 3 years, well, yeah, in the summer of 2016, I bought a $400 Wi-Fi router, and it was pretty good, but there was some stuff I wanted to try about ASUS, to try to see what ASUS is really delivering on. And, but anyway, in the event that I build onto my house, or build that tree house, and the coverage of this is no longer adequate, what I might do is get me an ASUS Blue Cave Wi-Fi router and add it to this. Yeah, you can actually do that. You can either allow it to wirelessly connect, or you can Ethernet, which you see these cables here, the yellow and the blue. The blue is what I got coming in from the modem, and then the yellow one goes back out to an Ethernet switch downstairs to run some of my devices like computers and networked hard drives and stuff. You don't do that Ethernet splitter bullshit. That's a Band-Aid as well, and it's damn near a scam. Anybody that wants an Ethernet splitter and insists on an Ethernet splitter definitely is not taking their situation seriously, and quite honestly, they don't deserve to have a solution, because they're not looking for one. They're literally just looking for like an $8 little Band-Aid, because they don't understand this stuff. They don't choose to understand it, and they're just going to have to learn the hard way. You know, these big companies that do a ton of networking for all their data centers, they actually use Ethernet switches. They don't use Ethernet splitters. Ethernet switches look like hubs, and they're an improved version of the hub, but they call them a switch to distinguish from the older technology that was just plagued with data collisions and security nightmares and just all this other kind of stuff. So, as a matter of fact, every Wi-Fi router has an Ethernet switch in it anyway. It's just sometimes you need more ports. And so I deal with just every day. I deal with just, I mean, just get on YouTube and use your time productively and read up on this stuff. You know, like watch some videos, some reviews. I mean, yeah, there was plenty of times I didn't know what was the best Wi-Fi router for me, but, you know, I tried one, and I'm trying out this ASUS. I've had it for nearly a week, and, you know, I had to do some more setup on it, fine-tune it for my needs and expectations, including the lighting on there, trying to decide what color that I want it to be. I mean, I like the green. I might do red, or I might do yellow. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. And, but anyway, yeah, you have to have something good. And your internet company will not provide you with adequate equipment. How many times I've told people, you know, it's like when you go to go get your oil changed, and you might choose to get the best oil that place sells, and you know, I'm sure it's good oil. I mean, I buy it myself, but they put on like a little cheapy $2 or $3 oil filter, you know, because their only real requirement is you're supposed to get some kind of filtration, and they really just got to keep the oil from falling out of your vehicle, and by putting on an oil filter, it keeps the oil in there versus if they just didn't put it on, right? And yeah, so, you know, I get really good oil, and I get me a really, really good oil filter. And that's like having an adequate modem for your speed plan, and that you're going to be with your internet company, and then getting a really good Wi-Fi router, because you have to match them up. You have to get something better than just the basic. to meet your expectations and your needs. I only got a 200 meg speed plan, and I got me an ASUS SB6183 modem, which is adequate for 200 meg speed plans on the cable company here, since it's a 16x4 DOCSIS 3.0. I do a pretty reliable test, about 234, 235 meg, which means that, Spectrum, the internet company, is sending out about 235 megabits per second through the line, and I'm getting all of it. So they send out a little bit more speed just to try to compensate in case there's some trouble with the lines coming from the pole to your house or whatever the case may be, because they do try to make sure you get your speeds that you're supposed to be paying for. And they're doing fine, and, but, hey, I live by myself, and I got these Amazon Fire TV sticks, and, and my kids got tablets, and I got security cameras, and I got me a Nintendo Switch, and I just want my good experience, you see, and that's why I don't cheap out. I mean, there was a time when 7 years ago, I got me a Belkin dual band N750 Wi-Fi router, and even in 2014, I was having Ethernet devices connected to each other, just devices communicating to each other on the network through Ethernet, like what you all like to call hardwire, and it was still having data flow problems, whether it's buffer size or the processor being able to juggle every kind of task that's going on. And, I did data transfer, and it'd stall out at around 300 meg. And, after 300 meg was transferred, then it would have problems. And the connection would just time out. And it was annoying. And getting a much better Wi-Fi router has definitely made my home Wi-Fi experience a lot more reliable. And even before I optimized this ASUS with doing some of the settings, I was having a good experience with my Nintendo Switch. Signal strength was never the problem. That Linksys is for your average kind of consumer on there. You don't got a lot of fine-tuning capability in it. And it's not considered a gaming router per se. I mean, it's high-powered enough you can definitely game on it, because it's a big tri-band beast. But I went to this ASUS because it gives you better software to fine-tune your experience. But yeah, that Linksys, I was having issues on, sometimes. And I think it was just a firmware issue because it had the hardware to push what I was doing. We've had, customers complain about Netgear being like that, and, Netgear and Linksys, they're okay. I definitely think of Netgear as a hardware company. They try to be the first to do this and the first to do that, and they actually have some impressive specs of their hardware, but their firmware is just, leaves a little bit too much to be desired. Linksys is a little bit better, but ASUS is supposed to be really good. And then I kind of expected some firmware issues on this router here, since it's like they just released it. And the previous generation of ASUS ROG Rapture in the GT series, it was the AC5300. It had firmware issues at first whenever they launched it, but they, those developers probably learned how to work better with this hardware. And that's how a lot of these routers are, and customers wish that they would be fully tested, and fully developed before they released. And yeah, that's a great idea, but I mean, these developers aren't given a lot of time to do this kind of stuff because the market is so competitive, so they have to fix the firmware afterward. And so yeah, I mean, if you don't got slack for the developers, then maybe you don't deserve it yourself. Just like I say sometimes, when complaining about whiny customers. You know, if a customer is going to be so damn picky about something, you know, a product, then they should go mining in the ground themselves and collect ore and then like smelt and mold everything and then stay up all night and all day and all week developing the product and developing a product and thoroughly testing it, if they're going to be so damn picky about everything. But anyway, I need to make more videos about this. I've just been kind of chillaxing and running some errands lately and all that on my days off, and so yeah, I'll have to make a review video about this soon.